Hello everyone, welcome back to yet another session of Silhouette Paint Masterclass, and in today's session we are going to create clean plates. This is going to be the most vital skill you need as a paint artist, so consider this as a basic class which will eventually make you a skillful paint artist. So let's begin. Okay, so in this shot I have a man jumping from top of a cliff into the beach. My task will be to remove this character. If I see the shot, I feels like it's kind of easy to remove this character because there is not that much texture behind this character and there is like simple color, that means color of an evening sky. But when we start painting, it will get little more complicated because you can see there is a gradient between orange and blue here, and also we need to recreate this flare. You can see there is also bokeh of the lens flare, lots of things to recreate here, so it's not that easy. If you don't believe that, I can show you here. Let's suppose if I'm going to take clone tool to clone these color pixels where this character is, so I'm going to do that. Let's take the clone tool. I am going to hold shift in my keyboard. Yeah, let's paint and see how this looks like. So why this is happening? Because the source which we are using for painting is input. So if I keep this to output, now if I'm painting, you can see we don't have any issues while we paint. So this is obviously not a good clean plate, and we can see a lot of color mismatches, lots of paint artifacts here. So this is definitely not going to work out, and if we are giving this as a clean plate to a compositor or a prep artist, they are not going to accept this. So the first misconception is that it's very easy to create a clean plate. That's not true, because there are color variations, gradient textures, lots and lots of difficulties. You need to figure it out while you do clean plates. The best way to do that is which tools and where to use that. So I have some recommendations here for this particular shot. It may vary from shot to shot. Delete this paint strokes. The easiest way to do that is come to the settings and inside this delete pull down menu, current frame, delete. That's it. So I just showed you how clone tool works in this shot, but if you zoom in here and use clean plate very mildly, but you can find there is color difference here. So I'm not that happy to use clone tool in this area. In this case, I'm going to try one more tool, that will be color tool. Zoom into the area where I'm going to paint, right click, pick that color and just try to paint. As you can see here, we have a better result, although we can see some kind of artifacts here. I'm going to fix that later with few other tools, so keep on watching. So here basically I have painted out all the edges. Now we can increase the scale of the brush, pick up the color and just paint. Once almost you feels like the character is somewhat painted out, you can just fill with some color relating to the surrounding colors. So as you can see, I have painted out this character, but you can see there are lots of artifacts here. So my next step will be to smooth out or to blend these color artifacts. The tool set which I'm going to use for that is my favorite and the most needed tool for every paint artist according to me, track tool. Make sure all the settings are needed as per your task. Okay, so this looks a bit decent to me. So once I feel that my character is completely gone or painted out, the next step will be to fine tune that specific area where you painted out. So my personal choice for this section of work will be blur tool. So I'm going to take blur tool and the shortcut for that is B. We have the blur radius as 15. Let's increase the size of the brush and paint. Now if you could see, we have successfully painted out the character, but as you can see there is a dark halo edge here which should have been painted out if I did this even precisely. And my next step will be recreating those lens flares. Here I can see there's a lens flare which I smudged here, so maybe color tool for that and pick up this color. If you see the edges of this bouquet, you can see it is kind of a straight line. We can hold Alt in keyboard and just draw a stroke. That helps us to create straight lines. To take my color tool and pick up a color here. So moving on to the final step. As you can see, I have painted out this character, but in many cases there will be areas where we don't want to touch. We just need to reveal back all those details. So here you can see we have painted over this section of lens flare where we shouldn't have touched. So I'm going to take eraser tool for that, just erase those edges. Here we have a bit of color mismatch, so I'm going to take maybe blur tool for this area and maybe 5. And also make sure to reveal back all those unwanted areas where you painted out. So yeah, we have successfully painted out that character, recreated this lens flare, made sure the gradient of the sky is matching as much as possible. Apologies for leaving this area with a black halo kind of color artifact. I did this clean plate in Rush for this specific tutorial, so I'm not going to take time to fine tune all those minute color fixes. If you're working in a production, make sure you're fixing all those color artifacts or color mismatches, and make sure your clean plate is worth your time, worth your skill set. Yeah, I believe this tutorial is going to be helpful in some or other way. Please make sure to like this tutorial and share this with your colleagues, and yeah, I will meet you in my next tutorial. Thank you.